See if things are working. Oh, yep. And that tells me people can hear things, so at least that's good. All right. Well, welcome one, welcome all, welcome to my first stream. Well, I say my first stream. It's my first personal stream. I have done some stuff before in terms of calling games, so I'm familiar with that. However, when it comes to things like streaming like this, never done it before. Certainly never done it by myself, so we're gonna just see what happens. Hopefully have a good time. Shouldn't be too bad. No, I don't want chat there. Yeah, let's close this window. How do I? All right, I'll just try to get it on the side here. Here we are. All right, well, today, of course, going to have the Philadelphia Phillies against the Miami Marlins. And I have this little overlay here that I'm going to use to talk about what's happening, although I will have the game on the side just so that way I can talk about things as they happen. Today, Tyler Phillips for the Marlins is going to be pitching, along with Zach Wheeler. Both having pretty good seasons. Zach Wheeler, 10-2, a 2.16 ERA. Of course, this is after his major surgery last season. So, after that, he's doing a pretty good job. A whip, or walks, hits, innings pitched, of .88. 100 innings pitched, so doing very well. Tyler Phillips, 2-5, although not a great record. Record doesn't mean anything. Just because even if you have a bad record, that just can mean you're unlucky, can just be sort of unfortunate. Nothing you can really do in that case. But it is what it is. And then along with that, why isn't this live control panel here? I should already be there. Alright. As I said, still testing things out here. Okay, well, it does work, even if I don't know what it's saying. Oh, I guess it's signed in for me to chat back, but I'm not going to do that this time around. Tyler Phillips, ERA of 3.52, which is pretty good in modern baseball, and a whip of 1.39, maybe a little bit high. 79 innings pitched, which is a bit surprising considering, again, Wheeler injured, came into the season later, and has more innings pitched. Just looking around the Marlins depth chart. He is the fifth pitcher. Okay, that makes more sense. So I imagine we'll go against Sandy Alcantara and we might go against actually all of the top pitchers for the Marlins, as I imagine this is going to be a 4-game series, as it tends to. Oh, no, only 3 games. So yes, tomorrow will be Nola and Alcantara. Wednesday will be Luzardo. Not sure who. Won't be able to do Wednesday only because one, uh I have a different commentary thing I need to do, but also it's at 12:10 p.m. I'm actually gonna go to lunch with my brother, so can't do that. But at least do tomorrow. Sorry for the silence. I'm just responding to some family. All that. Oh. Hope my brother's alright. Probably a bit annoyed. But of course, this game is in Miami. So actually, I think I need to swap the teams here. Because I have it. Why won't it swap them? This is frustrating. Gonna have Tyler Phillips pitching this first, and it says Zach Wheeler on the top. Let's see if I can do this quickly. So if I press the reset, sure. I'll just see what happens. Swap teams. Okay, perfect. Yeah, this is good as the first pitch in there for a strike. Up first is Trey Turner, who then grounds the ball down left field line. Of course, in the Marlins Stadium is indoor dome. His third pitch is a sinker, 97-mile-an-hour sinker inside for ball one. Phillips throws a curveball. Great movement, fouled off. So Phillips, so sinker, sweeper, splitter, curve, four seam, slider, but he loves the sinker. Really, those first four, the sinker, sweeper, splitter, and I think curve are the ones that he prefers. And that is going to be a called third strike. And that will be the first out of the inning for the Phillies. Strikeout by Trey Turner. And now up will be Kyle Schwarber. I mean, that's just a well-placed pitch. You know, that's painted on the outside corner there. Not much he can do. Well, I wanted to answer someone's question, I wanted to do a longer start. I thought the game was at 7 just because, as the first pitch for Schwarber's ball, I thought the game was at 7 because the ones against the Yankees were at 7. But I don't know why I thought that because most games are at 6:40. So it was a little silly of me. But it is what it is. Kyle Schwarber up now. 252 average. Having a good season, as we all know. Is the third pitch sweeper on the outside. Could be the first walk of the day for Tyler Phillips. Imagine he's going to throw something in the zone just to give him a chance. Yes, and that is a curveball right down Broad Street. Power hitter like Schwarber. Not really going to see a fastball unless it's a high one. And another curveball with this one out of the zone. Going to put Schwarber on first. So first base runners for the Phillies. Of course, if you're watching, feel free to share it around. Also, apologies. I tried to figure out something I could put in the background here, but just couldn't figure that out today. Hopefully, will be better either tomorrow or maybe later in the week. His first pitch for Bryce Harper is low and inside. So anyone watching this, feel free, put this on in the background just while you're doing your laundry, while you're doing whatever it is you're doing. And the second pitch is outside for strike one. And I guess I could do that. I tried to find a deep line drive by Bryce Harper, and that ball is gone. Well, here's a better way to start off than the series against the Yankees. Bryce Harper with a 2-run home run driving Kyle Schwarber in. I was going to respond to someone, but didn't even have time to. First hit for the Phillies, and it's a home run. So I wanted to find a baseball diamond and just put guys' positions. And I thought I was filling out some stuff, and I thought it was going to maybe generate a diamond, but I'm figuring it out. I think I have some ideas. I might try some things. We'll see. But first pitch to Brandon Marsh is going to be inside for strike one. What I do like about this is that I am controlling the different stuff, like the pitch. Now Brandon Marsh, a high fly ball deep to right field, but that is going to be caught right at the warning track. I don't know, at the corner of the warning track. So that's going to be second now. He sort of has been on a slump. I don't want to say slump because that's not fair, but he's certainly been on more of a downturn in terms of batting average compared to how he was doing earlier this season. Only hitting, 282 or something, like 286. Boo-hoo, But welcome, those who are just joining in. My name's Tyson. I am calling the Phillies game today. Got this little graphic up. Couldn't find anything to fill in the void here, as a second strike for Alec Boehm. So again, won't be as interesting visually, but I'll try to keep things going. Feel free to come and chat. And his outside pitch is going to make it strike three. Going to take us to the bottom of the inning, but of course damage already done by Bryce Harper. And man, that was a hard hit ball. I don't know if they have the exit velocity on that, but that felt more like a line drive than a home run. I honestly thought it was going to be caught at first, but no, he hit it real hard. But if anyone is on the ESPN app, if you see how when they pull up the defenses and they show all the names in the different positions, that's what I was going to go for. Was just something simple like that. The thing is, I don't know anything that works for terms of service and is free that would allow me to do this, but I'm going to try to figure some things out as best I can. So we will see. Let me get to the commercial break here. Just going to mute myself for a second, get a drink of water real quick, just so that way my voice doesn't get too tired, but I hope everyone is enjoying so far. Be back in just a second here. All right. I mean, that's the thing. The score bug stuff isn't necessarily that hard. And when you have stuff like Game Changer or ESPN next to you, it'll be nice because if it's an error, it'll tell me, right? And those are the professionals doing it, not as much us guessing, you know, since person comments has done commentary with me with baseball, knows what I'm talking about. But we get now to the bottom of the first. Zach Wheeler going his first pitch. It is going to be a four-seamer in the outside corner going against Otto Lopez with an astounding 328 average. Same pitch is, I guess I can see why, just a flick of his wrist gets him a single. Pretty cut and dry there. I am curious just to see how many at-bats he's had this season. I want to assume that he's just a really good hitter, but at the same time, most guys, it's very hard, as we were seeing with Marsh, it's very hard to keep an average above 300. I mean, yeah, he's got 441 plate appearances. Doing well. So since the All-Star, so for Zach Wheeler, as he first pitches a ball against Stowers and now gets a fouled off. For Zach Wheeler, he's an ERA of 2.16, has a whip of 0.88, and since the All-Star break, which I believe hasn't been too long since, 7 innings pitched, gave up 2 runs. That's what I have right now, but I'll do my best to see if I can find more, obvious stuff, as that is second strike there on Stowers with a 234 average. Zach Wheeler gets his pitch, throws a low curveball, and make it 2-2. Otto Lopez with a decent lead. Wheeler does get the check swing and does get Stowers going around. That's the first strikeout of the day for Zach Wheeler. Of course, the Marlins doing well this season. Certainly above a lot of people's expectations, including myself, but all power to them. So, yeah, since the All-Star break, he's only had 1 game, and that was against the Dodgers. As I mentioned, 7 innings. And it looks as though I unfortunately missed a big play. Not exactly sure what happened. Just taking a look at the replay here. Okay, Otto Lopez steals. Ball gets sort of thrown, not able to be picked. And then double error is able to get him to score. It sounds like the Phillies to me. So 2 errors gets Lopez to score. And now a high drive into deep left field by Hernandez, and that ball is gone. So just like that, we get 2 runs immediately for the Marlins right after we score 2 ourselves. There we are. Yeah, I mean, he just hung up I think there's a sweeper there, and Hernandez gets around it. So now we have Xavier Edwards Up to the plate. You know what? That's what it was. It was his four-seamer because he does have a bit of tail on his four-seamer. And now he hits a sweeper low in the zone for strike two. Sort of been part of the issue with the Phillies recently is that, as expected, Sanchez and Wheeler have come back down to earth a little bit as four-seamer low for ball one, almost gets the check swing on it. But yeah, those two have kind of come down to earth as expected from how well they were doing earlier in the season. And as Wheeler there on a curveball gets swing and a miss, gets Edwards to chase on a curveball a little bit outside the zone. But those two haven't been otherworldly in their pitching, and Phillies can only do so much to keep up offensively as they have some guys who are heating up and cooling down at the same time, but not many games where they've put it all together at the same time. Liam Hicks, the play takes the first pitch high. 277 average, OPS of 796. Could be a high-scoring affair, but it's a curveball by Wheeler, outside corner, strike one. I mean, this could be it. Unfortunately, this could just be the rest of the scoring until the ninth inning. So we'll see. He's a splitter, a little bit low, gets Hicks to swing and miss into a 1-2 count. 2 outs here, bottom of the first. Wheeler from the windup. Four-seam high gets a foul ball off of Hicks. Certainly would love to hear your guys' opinion on the Marlins as well, because I think sort of agree with a lot of people in that did not expect them to do as well as they have. Again, another foul ball from Hicks. Certainly thought, in a way, I thought the Mets would be better, and I thought they would be worse. But either way, I didn't think they'd be the worst in the division. I thought they'd be second worst. Outside fastball. He called for a ball. Wheeler up to 20 pitches in this first inning, which is not ideal. And now a low splitter gets Hicks swinging and missing, and that is going to be the third out of this inning here. So with that, we will switch over to top of the second. See if the Phillies hitters can answer back. Coming up is going to be Stott, then Realmuto, and then Rincones. And then Crawford, and then top of the order. So far, Wheeler was 21 pitches. Phillips was 17, so could be a bullpen game for both teams. Not as familiar as, 18-18 game. Honestly, at that point, if anything, it's actually not great. As someone who played through a 23-19 game, once you're past double digits, unless you're blowing out a team, it's not fun. Because then it's like you're doing so much, and yet somehow it's as if your team's shooting 50% from three and the other team's shooting 45. Like, that's great, but it's like, dang, we're doing all this and we're still tied. So, it's not ideal, but let's see how it is. Still in commercial break here. Here we are now. Bryson Stott coming up to the plate. Showing again. Showing replay of the other night where, his hardest hit home run of his career, Bryson Stott, the one that he hit against the Yankees last night, is a 110.5. He takes the first pitch for a strike. Curveball chased there by Stott, and that's going to make it a 0-2 count. Broadcast here on NBC Sports Philadelphia showing Brian De La Cruz. I think they're talking about his former Marlin as sweeper in the outside corner, going to get Stott looking. So not an ideal way to start second inning. Not sure you're going to get that 18-18 like you wanted, but we'll see. We'll see. JT Realmuto now up, 226 average. I was hoping he would do a little bit better this season. He just has not had the same hitting prowess or real defensive prowess as he has. He can still throw guys out, but he's not as good of a blocker as you would hope, and certainly you would hope that to make up for it, he would be hitting better. But, guys get older. There's only so long they can stay on top. As he is hit by a pitch there, almost in the elbow. I think just in the side, so that gets a man on first. Showing the replay. Yeah, just a tricep above his elbow, so considering that he just sort of walked it off, I imagine it doesn't hurt as bad. Well, as bad as it could have. So Inconis up, fouls first pitch there. 177 average and an OPS of 518. Interesting. It seems like they use him in a platoon with Derek Hill specifically, where he's the better defender. As you get a high fly ball deep into right field, right center field, because it is going to be caught by center fielder, and that's going to make the second out of the inning there. Looking at Baseball Savant for a second. I mean, he is a young prospect, so only 25 years old. He has good arm strength, decent sprint speed. Not a lot in terms of the metrics to show how good he is yet on Baseball Savant, as Justin Crawford takes first pitch for a strike. Now fouls a ball up and back. Make it 0-2. No, he doesn't hit as many home runs as the other guys, but I do feel like in terms of broad value, Crawford hopefully will get more recognition. As he takes splitter outside for ball one. I mean, when you have guys like Harper and all of them, having a young defensive player, it's always good. And now, sort of a golf swing fly ball, going to be caught on the warning track. So that is going to do it for the end, the bottom of the second. Good placement. What do you mean by good placement? I normally think of placement in terms of pitching, so I'm not sure what you mean, Docs. Unless you mean specifically where he hit the fly ball, which was not very far from the right fielder, then maybe, but he certainly, you know what? You'll enjoy this one. He's very good at bunting, unlike other young. Yeah, he certainly so was not reading Doc's replied where the ball lands on contact. He certainly does do that. And as I mentioned, he is very good at bunting, which I know is something you feel is a bit undervalued in baseball today. So wanted to mention that, but I mean he's about as traditional of a singles doubles hitter as you can get. But I mean, hopefully for him, the only reason why you might want him to get a bit more power is just so that way he can draw some walks because he is very fast. And I imagine he's not doing the greatest. Actually, why don't I? Because Wheeler's still warming up. So yeah, his walk percentage is 5.6. He had the 13th percentile in terms of fielders for walk percentage. So, but again, he's 22. He's got time. I'm not worried considering how well or how good his average is so far in the league. Not worried. His first pitch is fouled off by Conine? Is that, I don't know how you pronounce it. Conine is Griffin Conine. But now he golfs a swing into the right center field. Kona's going back to the wall, and it is up over the fence and gone. So a solo home run for Conine. Hey, Docs, if 22 is unk status, I don't know what we are then. That's not exactly a great. It's not exactly a great prospect for us since we are both older than that. First pitch ball to Sanoha. And the second pitch is also a ball to Sanoha. Four seam, low outside, gonna be ball three. And now a walk drawn by Sanoha. So we'll see if Wheeler can get himself out of this one. So he throws another first pitch ball here as well to Mac. Now pickoff attempt. So staying within the family for the Marlins then, I guess, if father was an all-star for the Marlins and now son playing is four-seam fastball, high and outside for a strike. Now a low pitch and a steal attempt that is going to be successful, as JT unable to quite get the right grip on the ball. A bit of a low pitch, so 2-1 count. Another low pitch, going to make it 3-1. Now fly ball. This is going to be in center field. Crawford is under it. And gives a good throw and makes sure there is no tag. So first out for the second inning here for Wheeler. Again at 32 pitches. There's Jacob Marcy. 195, OPS of 603 up to bat. First pitch, cutter inside for ball one. Looks as though Wheeler got around on it too much. Now another cutter, this time on the opposite side, but still a ball, so make it a 2-0 count. Really the only time a walk might be preferable due to loading up the bases, giving it a nice force out in all three, as swing and a miss there by Marcy, going to make it strike one. And now a bunt attempt is going to be fouled off. Bohm was near the grass, so certainly they expected it to come. So that is going to make it a 2-2 count. Pitch. Line drive into right center field is going to land, so it's going to be a base hit. And a double, an RBI double here for Marcy. Going to make it a 4-3 game. Sorry, 4-2 game. He's now pitching coach for the Phillies, going out to talk to not only Wheeler, but seems the rest of the infield, minus Harper. Otto Lopez back up again, singled last time up. Takes the first pitch low and inside for ball 1. Four-seamer high, gonna make it 2-0. And a sweeper right in the outside corner, gonna make it 2-1 count. Seems Lopez potentially disagreed, but then stayed out a little bit longer just to look for a sign if they were going to give one. A four-seamer inside, but fouled down the left field line. So 2-2 count. Man on second, one out here at the bottom of the second. Marlins, with a single here, could tack on some more. As a sweeper, 2 outside, going to make it 3-2 count. Good foul off there by Lopez. Although, pitch was definitely going to be outside, so taking that for a walk. 3-2 once again. And sort of another sort of floater out to the outfield. It looks as though Lopez is going to take this for a triple. Diving attempt by Crawford, unable to keep the ball in front, and then the ball rolled to the back of the... Wow, his pants sure got ripped up there. The ball rolled to the back of the outfield, and I guess sort of just didn't bounce off the way Rincones expected, since he sort of fumbled with it a little bit before able to throw it in. His first pitch is swinging strike against Stowers. Now you have infield in, with the exception of Harper, who staying back to be available for the out at first. As Splitter able to get Stowers to chase again for strike 2. Of course, Stowers thinking that if he hits the ball hard anywhere, that he's going to get Lopez to score. His high fastball could be taken for ball one. Now a pop-up. It's going to be a foul ball, get me out of play, but JT and Bone thought maybe there was a shot at it. One-two pitch. Another splitter, this time too low, so it's going to be 2-2. And then outside corner gets Stowers to swing, and that's going to be Wheeler's fourth strikeout and second out of this inning. Certainly tunneling to that area, or at least attempting to, with the splitter, and that does seem to do well against Stowers. Now Hernandez up, who homered his first at bat. Now the sweeper to the opposite side to make it strike one. Interestingly, Stowers and Hernandez both calling timeout relatively early in their at bats, and you only get one per at bat. Now splitter gonna be low for ball one. So Wheeler so far with almost a 50-50 split in balls and strikes, which isn't great, at least in this inning, as sinker there, gonna make it a 2-1 count. Foul ball straight down on the sweeper, gonna make it a 2-2 count. Now replaying Hernandez's solo home run in the first inning. As curveball gets him swinging there for the final out of the bottom of the second. But damage already done by the Marlins. Gets 5 runs and 5 hits. See if the Phillies can respond as you get back to the top of the third. So that's the thing, Docs. Now it could be a high-scoring affair in one direction instead of both teams getting high scoring. You're getting a lot of runs on the board. I guess so. To be fair, it's hard to say if it's your fault or my fault. I mean, again, first time streaming, and this is what happens. I could be the jinx for all I know. So we'll see. Wow. So the Nationals have passed the Marlins in the standings. I did not know that. I also didn't know that the Phillies have lost 2.5 games to the Braves, which does make sense as Trey Turner gets a second at bat of the day. Takes first pitch for a ball. Turner struck out his first time up. Takes sinker there for strike one. Feels like he's almost on the precipice of getting back to his ways where he almost hit 300. I think a season or a couple seasons ago is now grounder up the middle, fielded by the second baseman for the Marlins, and that is called safe. So an infield single there by Turner. So base runner on the board. Now Kyle Schwarber. See check swings for strike one. Now pickoff attempt on Turner. So Xavier Edwards going for the slides for the tough play there. As Schwarber takes pitch for ball one. Now check swings again, but is able to hold it. Takes a for ball two. Now takes a curveball for strike two. It's a little bit outside. I think he thought about challenging it, but decided not to. I think at this point, a lot of teams are pretty conservative about their challenges. Swing and a miss on a sweeper there. Strikeout for Kyle Schwarber, and that is going to be the first out at the top of the third. So exit velocity of 109.6 for Bryce Harper, which makes sense. Pretty low ball to get out. A launch angle of 21 degrees, so not too high as he swings and misses on a curveball for strike one. Bryce now popping up to left field. It's going to be a pretty easy out there for Hernandez. He's not going to move Turner forward. So Brandon Marsh up, takes a check swing and is able to hold back for ball one, which flew out in the first, his first time up. Now fouls the ball on to the left side and make it 1-1 count. Doesn't seem like Turner is looking to do much on the base pass right now. As a swing and a miss on a curveball there, going to make it strike two for Marsh. Now foul ball into to be the leg of the catcher, but he seems to be okay. The 1-2 pitch. Looks as though Marsh got under it, and he did. It's going to be a fly out to center field. Going to be the last out of the top of the third. Caught by Marcy. Let's go to the bottom of the third and hope Zach Wheeler can find his location with his pitches and keep the Marlins at bay here. So for anyone joining, tough day for the Phillies so far. Zach Wheeler, so struggling for pitch location. Giving up, I believe, 4 earned runs, 1 unearned. Not sure how that works with the errors once a guy is on base in an earned way. So we'll have to get back to you on that one. But so far, 55 pitches through 2 innings. He's given up a good amount of hits, and he, like his compatriot Christopher Sanchez, has sort of come down to earth in terms of, or is coming down to earth in terms of his pitching, as the first pitch to Xavier Edwards is taken low for ball 1. And now cutter inside for ball 2. Our second baseman, Xavier Edwards, cleanup hitter for the Marlins, struck out in the first inning. Now hits a fly ball into left field that's going to be caught by Marsh, by Brandon Marsh, to be the first out of the inning for the Marlins hitters. Liam Hicks, the designated hitter for the Marlins, up to the plate. Struck out in the first inning. Now it's a line drive right above Bryson Stott, fielded cleanly by Gabriel Racones Jr. So that's just going to be a single for the Marlins, gets Liam Hicks on the board. So far, the Marlins keeping the offense going. This first pitch is a ball to Griffin Conine. Now splitter outside corner. Make it 2-0 count. A lot of these today. So overall pitch count of 61, 35 strikes, and 26 balls for Zack Wheeler. So a high cutter gets Conine swinging for strike one. Of course, Griffin Conine, the right fielder for the Marlins, his solo home run in the second inning. Start off the scoring frenzy that happened. Now fouls off a high four-seam fastball, going to make it a 2-2 count. And getting him the chase on a splitter, the sixth strikeout of the day for Zack Wheeler. And some beautiful movement there. Just get Conine to chase way out of the zone. Second out for the Phillies. So now first pitch to Javier Sanoja. Curveball for strike one. Now getting a check swing for strike two. Yeah, I agree, Docs. 6 Ks, 5 runs is not great. Sanoja walked his first time up. You know, you can't have a good day every day. Everyone is fallible. 0-2 count. And a sweeper that was never near the zone is taken for ball one. And now a chopper right back to Wheeler, who barehands it. And is able to get the out at first. Pretty insane play there from Zack Wheeler to get third out of the inning. The bit of a chopper from Sanoja that is just to his right, barehands it, twists, throws over, and it looked like also sort of was too far off the bag and got Bryce Harper to be able to swing around and tag Sanoja on the back to get the out. All right. Well, that is actually going to do it for me for today. This is more supposed to be a test than anything, and I feel like I've figured some things out. Got to figure some other things out in terms of what I can do in the background here. Of course, feel free to let me know if got any ideas or know anyone who could send me anything to help out. Appreciate everyone who came through. And certainly we'll see you next time. I'm thinking either, if I can figure it out, I will do a longer stream tomorrow where I can get the background. Basically, whenever I can get the background, that's when I plan to do the stream. And I'm hoping that if I do it, I will try to make an announcement somewhere to get people to know. All right. But thanks everyone for coming out, and I'll see you next time.